And today,
yeah,
nope.
You got it. It's all you. I wasn't sure.
I wasn't sure either.
Hey everybody, I'm Kendall.
And I'm Kat.
And we're gearheads here at Backcountry.
And today we're going to talk about backpacking packs. We're going to go over volume size, features of packs, essentials to bring, and how to pack a bag.
Yeah, we're going to show you guys what we like to pack in our favorite bags.
Up first, we have Volumes of Bags. Let's dive into it.
Mine is 55 liters, so I'm on the small side of the conventional backpacking range. How big is yours?
Mine is 65 liters, so it allows me to carry a little bit more stuff than you.
Yeah, you're right in the sweet spot there. For single overnights, we'd recommend in the 40 to 50 liter range, 60 to 70, kind of where we're at for conventional backpacking. And then if you're the type of person where maybe you're going out with your family, maybe you want to bring a camera along or some fishing gear along, that's when you're going to want to consider like a 70 liter plus pack. Give you space for that extra gear.
The nice thing about something that's kind of in this like 65-ish liter range is that it's got a lot of internal space, but as you can see, there's also a lot of areas where I can strap on gear. So if I need to carry a little bit of extra stuff and I want to strap my sleeping pad or tent or anything above or below or just out here, I can carabiner a lot of stuff on as well.
Totally, and then yeah, my pack takes a little bit of a different approach. With the roll top closure, I can cinch it down if I have less stuff, and then if I have more stuff, it does give me some space up top to pack in, and then I have these nice mesh pockets, 1, 2, 3 here, where I can stuff extra gear, and I really like these because I can see what's on the outside of the pack, and I can quickly be like, hey Kat, can you grab my bug spray? As we did a lot in our last trip.
Yeah, eaten alive by bugs. It was fun. Moving into features of a pack, there are packs that are sometimes a little bit more simple, like Kendall's. It's really just one big pouch with some small zippers, whereas mine has the big compartment, but it also has the nice brain. There's 2 zippers up here. I've got zippers on the hip straps for snacks. There's this zippered pouch here, as well as I can slide things in from the top. There's these 2 really big pouches on the side. Usually I'll put a water bottle in one, and then sometimes you can honestly fit like a tent or a sleeping pad or something else in here as too.
Totally. One thing I really like about my pack is that it comes in a tall size, which is what I opted for. So I'm 6'4", I have a really long torso, and I wanted to make sure that my weight was distributed evenly, and so that tall size gives me the option to have a pack that really fits my body well. And so that's a feature that I really appreciate.
Yeah, I will say some packs, like this one, roll it around. You can see right here, there is some room for adjustment. So this is Velcroed into the frame, but you can pull this up and then pull the shoulder straps up or down depending on how long your torso is. Another thing I really like, a lot of packs now have this kind of mesh frame right here. So this allows some breathability so that you don't get too much of that overheating on your backside. Mm-hmm. And then your pack, it keeps basically the pack off your back.
Yeah, your pack also has that really cool feature that we used for a quick summit mission. You have a detachable day pack, right?
Yeah, correct. So inside there is a reservoir sleeve, which I really enjoy having just water, being able to pull it from a tube. But that whole sleeve actually detaches, and you can wear that as a day pack for little short missions while you're backpacking. Some packs also, you can detach the brain and use that as a day pack too.
Yeah, I was jealous. That's a really cool feature. All right, Kat, we have everything laid out here from your last backpacking trip. Why don't you give us a little run of show?
So we've got everything from the essentials to a little bit of extra since we only did kind of a quick trip. So sometimes it's nice to bring some of those fun things. Mm-hmm. But we have everything from your tent and your sleeping pad, sleeping bag, clothes and layers, trekking poles. We've got extra like sandals for when you're just hanging around camp or you want to go for a swim. Our food and snacks, we've got it in a bear safe canister. We've got bear spray, jet boil and fuel for water, for making meals, a first aid kit, headlamp, a pillow, and some sunglasses. So we've got everything that we need, plus a little bit more for our backpacking trip.
And then if you wanted to really cut down, what are like the minimum essentials to get out there?
Essentials, I would say you definitely want your tent, a sleeping pad, a sleeping bag, your layers, first aid kit, food, and the fuel you need to make it, bear spray if you're in bear country, water filtration. That's probably it.
This tent seems on the bigger side, just like compared to everything else. Is there anything you could do instead of one of these?
Yeah, totally. So Sometimes it's nice to have a tent. You have a lot of space, especially if you're maybe going on a trip with 2 people. You can split up some of the gear. If you're by yourself and you really want to cut down on space, you can pivot and use a bivy sack, and that's just essentially just like a shell just for you and your sleeping bag, and it just protects you from the bugs and the elements. But some of them do get pretty small. They get smaller than an Nalgene. Some of them are a little bit larger, so lots of options there for you.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, that's good to know. I have some questions about sleeping bags. I had no idea they could even get this small. What are the different kinds of like storage bags that you use for sleeping bags?
A sleeping bag is pretty poofy. Usually they're stored in a bag like this. You can also hang them. That's just so you don't compress the down and compromise the warmth.
So this is like what you use at home?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And then a lot of them will come with a stuff sack kind of similar to this size, which is a little bit bulky for like a backpacking pack. So you can also get a compression sack like this, which will take the same bag and compress it smaller. That being said, there's a wide gamut of sleeping bags, and depending on the material that they use and how warm they run, they can be really small and still really warm, or really big. It just kind of depends.
All right, Kat, I'm really curious to see how exactly you fit all of this in that pack. Can you show us how you'd fill it up?
Totally, let's dive into it. So things that I don't need super accessible usually go towards the bottom of my pack. Heavy items I like to keep kind of in that like close to my back area. That just helps give you good weight distribution. And then items that I want really accessible are either gonna go in the exterior pockets or the top of my pack. Let's go ahead and start packing. We're gonna throw things like my sleeping bag in the bottom. I like keeping this at the very bottom just because when I get to camp, I might be throwing up my tent first or making food, but the last thing I'm really gonna be taking out of my pack is my sleeping bag. So as I fill my pack, I usually like to take soft things or small things. So, my sleeping bag is currently at the bottom of my pack, but there's a little bit of sides in those cracks. So I'm gonna go ahead and take small items like this and just stick it in there.
Fill the voids.
Fill the voids, exactly. Gonna keep putting things in. We got sleeping pad. Probably won't need the chair or the tent. And I will say too, your tent, you don't necessarily need to put it in your pack. If it fits, I like to keep it inside. Some people will strap it to the side, to the bottom of their pack, or sometimes they'll actually even put it in between the brain. They'll just fold it over like that.
Gotcha. Okay, sweet.
And then I'll take food canister. So this has all the food for the trip. I will go ahead and each morning I'm gonna take out any snacks and lunch stuff that I want for the day, and that will go just in little side pockets or at the top of my bag. Everything else that I'm not gonna need till I get to camp or for the next few days stays in the bear canister.
And then overnight, of course, everything goes in there.
Yes, everything that smells. That includes sunscreen, mosquito repellent, toothpaste, deodorant, chapstick, all of that in the canister. I'll put in my extra layers and Jetboil and fuel. I like to keep the fuel on top or just somewhere that it's not really on the bottom, and preferably not on the very edges of the pack. That way, just if you're putting your bag down, you knock into like a rock or a tree, you're not damaging your canister. Okay, so when that's all packed nicely, you're gonna go ahead and cinch your pack down like this.
So the main compartment's full.
Main compartment is full. And then for the exterior pockets, so I usually like to carry an extra layer. This may be something like a sun hoodie. If it's really hot, it could be a puffy if it tends to get a little bit colder where you are, or it's a rain shell if it's pretty rainy. This, I'll keep in an exterior pocket so it's easy to reach to, so if I need to pull it out, I can do so quickly. Same thing with our first aid kit. I want that accessible. That's going in my pocket out here. Next, things like sandals. This is a nice to have item, but I really like carrying them when you get to camp, when your feet are hot, or maybe they're hurting, or maybe you have a water crossing, or even if you're backpacking through water. It's nice to have some sandals like these. I like them easily accessible. So I either will basically carabiner them to an outside strap somewhere on my pack, or I'll go ahead and just stuff them. A lot of packs have these little stuff compartments. Yours has a mesh one, which I really like. It allows wet things to dry, so if these got wet, I can just hang them there. But I'm gonna go ahead and just stick them in here for now. And then I'll cinch this back down. And then for these side pockets, if you hand me that water bottle, I like having a water bottle here in addition to my reservoir bladder. And then on the other side, if I'm not actively using these, they'll just go ahead and go into another side pocket like this.
Trekking poles are definitely nice to have when you have all the weight of a big backpack.
It is, it really helps with balance. The other thing too is you could put other items. If your internal pocket's getting full, you can put things like a sleeping pad or a tent also in this big pouch here.
Yeah, those are pretty big pouches.
And then in the brain of the pack, I like to keep things accessible. This one has 2 pockets. So this one I can reach back with my hand. You saw that when we were out backpacking. So I'll put snacks or maybe my phone in this pocket. And then other things for when we get to camp, like a headlamp, I'll put in here. Usually do like headlamps, sunglasses, like a map, compass, pocket knife, phone, any of those things will go like right in this pocket. Super easy to reach. And then lastly we have is our bear spray. So this I'll usually put in a holster, and this either goes attached to my hip belt or backpack strap or the sternum strap here. I just want that easily accessible so that if a bear shows up, I can pull it out right away, spray the bear, good to go.
Definitely important. And a lot of these come with harnesses too that you can use.
One more spot I like on my pack is just the hip belt right here. It has these 2 pockets. So I'll usually put some snacks, like maybe gels and bars in one of these. So just if I get hungry on the move, I can just pull it out and start munching. The other one, I actually like to put things like a little thing of ibuprofen, some chapstick or sunblock, just for quick application.
Awesome, yeah, those pockets are super nice for those quick things. All right, that's a wrap on our backpacking video. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out to a Gearhead if you need advice about what kind of pack to get, what kind of gear you want to put inside your pack. Reach out and we'll answer all of your questions.
Yeah, and if you want to see more content like this, or if you have any other requests, please leave a comment, let us know. Otherwise, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys out there.
Pew.